High Horror Society, It's the High Horror Society, oh yeah. It's the High Horror Society, It's the High Horror.
Good evening and welcome to the High Horror Society. We are your hosts, Zach
Kyle.
and Kyle.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to 2019. We
Yes,
made it.
We somehow
We
survived.
made it. And sorry for the little break we took, but we needed some R&R, and
Yeah.
we are back at it, ready to rock and roll in 2019.
Back.
And the first movie we watched this year was BirdBox.
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 Yep.
It's a Netflix original. It's from 2018. And yeah, we just got done watching it.
Yeah, kind of went into it blindly, but I love
Whoa. Don't give it away, Kyle. Jeez Louise. But yes.
She dies at the end. I'm just joking.
But we should say up top that if you haven't seen this, of course, like all our reviews and everything we do, it's going to be full of spoilers. You've been warned beforehand. We're going to basically get into the ending and all that and let you know what we think. And if you've seen it, great. You can laugh along with us or cry or laugh at us rather with us. And
Freak.
yeah. And then if you haven't seen it, you've been warned. First and foremost, I want to show something that was pretty cool. So I got this for a Christmas gift from my sister-in-law, Kim, and it is fucking amazing. I just want to share this with everybody.
Check it out. High Horse Society t-shirts.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Get it open here.
We definitely gotta get some of those made.
Yeah.
Those are pretty sweet.
It's just fucking amazing. I love it. It's a beautiful shirt.
Yeah,
it
the
turned
colors,
out great.
The greens look good.
The green looks good.
Everything's
Everything.
great.
Look at that. I mean,
Bam.
that's some high quality shit right there.
Like a hair to here. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I love it. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you,
You
Kim.
did a great job. This
Good
is
job.
amazing.
Bravo.
Yeah, bravo indeed. We're gonna
Bravo.
made me want to get more shirts printed, which has been something we've been talking about and we never really got around to.
We will. Once people start wanting them, then we will have them available for them.
Out of our dozens of listeners, I doubt they want them. But who knows? If you want a
Hey.
T-shirt, let us know. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and move
Find
forward
us-
with it.
Find us probably on Facebook or
Yeah.
email us.
Email us,
High Horse Society
Twitter,
at Gmail.
all that social network crap. We're
And,
on there.
We'll get a t-shirt for you. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind.
Some stickers. all that
Stickers,
fun stuff.
T-shirts, bumper stickers.
Yeah.
You gotta have bumper stickers,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That way people drive and know what you're listening to.
Exactly. Just don't
So-
put it all over your windows and do the blindfold.
Oh,
the
God.
bird box.
Yeah, you can
Challenge.
bird box your fucking car.
High
with
Horse
all our
Society
High Horse
stickers.
Society stickers. Oh my god!
What a great way to go viral.
That would be. That would put. We would get on Netflix's Twitter for that shit, man. We get like 3,000 retweets.
Oh yeah. Do you have a shitty car we can crash?
I used to have a
do this?
shitty car we could crash,
Damn.
but no, I don't.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
eventually.
Either way. So yes, BirdBox.
Bird box.
BirdBox is a 2018 Netflix original. It was directed by Susan Bier, who did feature films such as Brothers, After the Wedding, and the Academy Award-winning In a Better World. She also did the TV miniseries, The Night Manager, and she is the first female director to win a European Film Award.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty
Bravo.
awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And it was written by Eric Heisenser, who did Arrival, Lights Out,
Oh.
the Thing remake that they
Okay.
did a couple years ago, and the 2010's Nightmare on Elm Street remake.
Okay.
And the book was based on a book written by Josh Malerman. Josh Malerman. He wrote the novel, and that the movie is based on.
That's cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. Based off a novel.
How old's the novel? Is it pretty new, or is it been around for a while?
I think it's from like 2008 or something like
Oh.
that. I get into it, I believe. But either way,
Cool.
the movie's produced by Chris Morgan, Scott Struber, Dylan Clark, Clayton Townsend. Music by Trent
Reznor.
of Nine Inch
Nails.
Nails. Trent Reznor also did the music for The Social Network and Girl
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Dragon Tattoo.
Okay. I did see that.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw those movies, though, so I don't know the soundtracks to them, but I'm sure they were great.
I think he won an award for Social Network, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
The movie Birdbox.
Birdhouse, Bird Box.
Ghost
It's
House.
awesome.
Remember that movie?
Ghost
God,
House.
that piece of shit. Birdhouse, bird box. All right, Jesus, this is gonna be like so hard to get through. But anyway,
Bird seed. No. Bird feeder. Ah!
oh God, Bird Box.
Bird Box.
Stars Sandra Bullock, of course, wonderful, beautiful Sandra Bullock. She did Demolition Man.
Speed.
I'm gonna go all over her charm. Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Yeah, I know.
While You Were Sleeping, Hope Floats, The Net, A Time to Kill, Miss Congeniality 1 and 2,
Oh, yeah.
2 Weeks Notice, Crash, Ocean's 8, and the list goes on and on and on. You know who Sandy Bullock is. We're all her best friends.
Yeah, she's my friend.
Javante Rhodes, who did Moonlight, The Predator, and he was in the TV show Westworld.
Is that Tom?
Tom. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
John Malkovich, who
Okay.
needs
Yep.
no introduction. Con Air of Mice and Men,
Yeah.
being John fucking Malkovich. Shadow of the Vampire, Red. He also produced, which I didn't know this, John Malkovich produced Ghost World and Juno.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Juno.
Yeah,
Huh.
the one with the...
That's interesting. Him doing Juno.
Yeah, weird. It also stars Sarah Paulson, who's from American Horror Story,
Okay.
Glass, the upcoming or released. I don't know what's out. I'm not cool.
That was the sister, right?
Yep, the sister. She did Ocean's 8 as well with Sandy Bullock and B.D. Wong, who was the guy in the Jurassic Park movies. He was the little doctor.
Yeah.
He's also in Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
That's
and
where I saw him.
Yeah.
Law and Order.
Law and Order. And he also was on the TV show Gotham. I forget which villain he plays, but I think he plays a villain. So I have a couple different synopses, whatever. I still don't know that word.
Synopsis.
But I have 3 that I want to read, and we'll see which one fits the premise of the film the best. Here we go. 5 years after an ominous, unseen presence drives most of society to suicide, a mother and her 2 children make a desperate bid to reach safety. Okay, pretty close, right?
That was pretty good.
Here's number 2.
All right.
In the wake of an unknown global terror, a mother must find the strength to flee with her children down a treacherous river in search of safety. Due to unseen deadly forces, the perilous journey must be made blindly. Pretty, even more on the nose, right?
It's building. It's building.
It's building. And then when a mysterious force decimates the world's population, the only thing is certain. If you see it, it will take your life. Facing the unknown, Mallory finds love, hope, and a new beginning, only for it to unravel. Now she must flee with her 2 children down a treacherous river to the one place left that may offer sanctuary. But to survive, they will have to undertake a perilous 2-day journey blindfolded.
Ooh.
Pretty much exactly what happens in the movie.
That's spot on. Yep, that's about it.
But yes, the last one is obviously the best one. Well, in terms of describing the film.
Yeah.
And one of the taglines for the movies was, or the movie was, "Never lose sight of survival."
But
yeah, never lose sight of survival. Come on, Kyle, don't lose sight of it.
It's kind of hard when I'm freaking blindfolded.
Yeah, just don't lose
Where
sight
am
of
I
survival.
going? All of a sudden, there's somebody in the water, and you gotta start fighting them off.
Yeah, exactly.
Swamp monster.
So yeah, I like the last synopsis the best, I think,
Yeah.
for sure.
That's clean.
It goes over everything pretty well, touches on all the points.
Mhm.
So yeah, let's get into some fun facts. What do you say?
Get the fun
We're gonna need
facts,
intro music for every bumper. There we go. Bam! See the guys. Look at the little guys. Made them perfectly sized. Perfectly. The banners are great. Everyone just listening is gonna be like, "What the fuck's going on?" We're resizing banners on the fly right now.
On the fly.
Guys. For our stream.
Because everything fails.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So as we discussed, Bird Box is based off the debut novel from Josh Malerman. The book follows a woman who must find a way to guide herself and her children to safety despite the potential threat of an unseen adversary. The story is told via flashbacks and takes place in 3 different time periods. The movie kind of does that. A lot of it's told through flashbacks and jumping back and forth between the river journey and whatnot. So the author wrote the rough draft of Bird Box prior to the release of the 2008 M. Night Shyamalan film, The Happening, which is apparently similar. Whatever it is in nature makes you kill yourself, apparently. and the movie, the 2009 film The Road, although the novel was written in 2006. But the only thing it shares really with The Road is that there's a child or there's children involved, and it's the end of the world, and there's a journey. But it is kind of similar. The Road kind of goes down the same type of path. This made the author actually worry that the book might get kind of lost in the shuffle, since it's kind of like the other films and books that are out at the time.
Yeah.
The book came out, so it was prior to the release of the 2008 film. So it must have come out a little bit after that, because it says the rough draft came out in 2008. So, yeah. The film rights for Bird Box were optioned by Universal Pictures in 2013, prior to the book's release. So, yeah, even later than that. So maybe 2014 it came out.
Oh, wow.
Scott Struber and Chris Morgan, the producers, were they also did It and Mama, and the director Andy Muschietti attached was to direct the movie, and screenwriter Eric Heisenser was in negotiations to pen the script. And then in 2017, it was announced that Netflix acquired the rights to the book.
Nice.
After Struber became head of the feature film division of Netflix, and then they went forward to develop the film with Sandra Bullock, John Malkovich, and Susan Bier was announced as director. So the other guy was out. Cool. So I'm sorry, Andy Muschietti, he directed It and Mama. It wasn't Scott Struber and Chris Morgan. I read that kind of fucked up. I'm sorry. Scott Struber and Chris Morgan were set to produce the film with the director from It and Mama, Andy Muschietti, but they obviously went with Susan Bier once Scott Struber became the head of the film division of Netflix. So I apologize. I read my notes all kind of screwy there.
All good.
Oh God, my brain hurts. Yes, I corrected myself.
We good. We good.
So,
we good.
In October 2017, they added a bunch of casts to the movie. And then November 2017, they added more cast, and everything kind of came to a head.
Cool.
Principal photography began in October of 2017 in California, so that's when they filmed the bulk of the movie.
Okay.
The wilderness scenes were shot on the Smith River in the far northern part of the state, and the house exterior is from a place in Monrovia. Never heard of it. The final scene was shot at Scripps College. Never heard of that either.
Okay.
The film had its world premiere at AFI Fest on November 12th, 2018.
Nice.
And due to the Woolsey fire that hit California, out of the respect for the victims of the Thousand Oaks shooting, and respect for the victims of the Thousand Oaks shootings, Netflix, they canceled all their red carpet coverage for the AFI Fest. So just to be kind of sensitive to things are going on at the time, end of the world movie kind of doesn't go really well with shootings and terrible fires, right?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on for sure. The film had a limited theatrical run on opening on December 14th, my wedding anniversary.
Bye. Yeah.
And then it started its Netflix stream on December 21st. A week later, so after it was released on Netflix, Netflix reported that Bird Box had the biggest 7-day viewership of any of its original films to date, with over 45 million accounts, with the views defined by the company as the film streaming over 70% of its time. So Netflix counts a view as you watching 70% of a show or a movie. That counts as one view, which I think is pretty generous. There are some skeptics who are kind of wary about this information. They cited Netflix has a lack of independent verification on their view counts, so take that number, 45 million streams, with a grain of salt. So,
because everybody's stealing each other's accounts.
Yeah, so. Well, that too, right?
I got
so
10
maybe there's
people
more.
Oh yeah,
there's only 10 Netflix accounts, but 45 million people watched it.
Pretty much.
But it definitely is popular. I've heard. I was in the doctor's office the other day. I heard people talking about it. I was I got my hair cut, and they were talking about it next to us in the chair. So my wife said it's all over social media. That's kind of what prompted us to do this, because we're super desperate for some social media attention. Please fucking listen to our show.
We'll conform. We'll conform.
We'll do whatever you guys want. But no, so it's pretty popular, and there's a bunch of shit going on right now, which we'll get into in a little bit. But anyway, So yes, so take that 45 million views with a grain of salt, because apparently there's no independent verification of Netflix view count. So yeah,
Yep.
put that in your pipe and smoke it, Kyle.
It's harsh.
When the film was being developed, Sandra Bullock and director Susan Bier both originally passed on the project. So that's interesting. They
What?
originally said no.
Oh, wow. All right.
This was the second collaboration between Sandra Bullock and Sarah Paulson. They did Ocean's 8 together, and Sandra Bullock actually personally asked if Sarah Paulson can be her sister in this film. So that's
Nice.
kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. John Malkovich would talk to the birds on set, and the cast said he had a bizarre connection with them. He would be able to tell them to move their feet, and they would.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's kind of
so
funny.
he was one of the crazy guys.
He's the bird whisperer. Yeah, he's one of the crazy
he's
guys.
up there with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, oh God, with his
Pigeons and
pigeons,
birds.
right? We shouldn't talk bad about Mike Tyson though.
No,
He's
I
gonna
love
come
good
over
old
and kick our
Mike.
ass.
Yeah,
I
we're
love Mike
friends.
Tyson.
He's a badass.
He is a badass.
Of course.
Sandra Bullock was blindfolded for about 50% of the shooting schedule. So she was, and she ran into the camera a couple times. And apparently she refused to not wear a blindfold. So they were offered to like cut slits in the blindfold so she could see, but she refused. She just wanted to.
Better actor.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. So that is kind of cool. And apparently the director had sleepless nights over worrying about Sandra Bullock not having, because obviously it's like,
Oh,
you don't want
God.
this big name actress hurting
Yeah.
herself on your fucking movie. Like, that's terrible. But no, she wanted to do it. And
Knocks her head in a tree.
I
like,
think it helped out a little too, because it
Yeah.
kind of lent. You
It
know,
was more realistic with her searching
like she
around.
didn't find
and
the
like,
thing right away.
Yeah,
It was a
it's
little, you
like,
could tell there
damn,
was a
dude.
little. I think that was a good choice.
Yeah.
Charlie, this is the guy from the grocery store, mentions that the situation they're in is not like some kids running around in a maze, and that's a nod to the Maze Runner series, which Rosa Salazar is in. She played Lucy, I think, the cop girl.
Oh, okay. That was a good movie. I like Maze Runner.
I never saw it. I heard it was good.
I liked it.
This marked the 5th time that actress Paraminder Negra played the role of a medical doctor, so the doctor at the end. She was in ER, Alcatraz, Fortitude, and 5 Feet Apart.
Sweet.
So yeah. The setting is in Northern Carol. I'm sorry, Jesus.
Redwoods.
Yeah, Northern California. As several NorCal cities are mentioned: El Soto, Santa Rosa, Sacramento, and Stockton. And the river that Mallory and the children traversed is the Smith River in Del Norte County near the California-Oregon border.
Nice.
However, according to the San Francisco Chronicle, the house where the visitors take shelter in is in Monrovia, which we already talked about, and that's near L.A.
Okay.
And most of the non-forest scenes were shot in L.A. as well.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, why travel that far when you could just do the shots?
Right, yeah, why the hell when you just have a set, you know?
Yeah.
Sarah Paulson and B.D. Wong had previously starred together in American Horror Story Apocalypse, which I've never watched. Daniel McDonald also appeared in an episode of American Horror Story. He's also in the movie Bird Box. He was in the 6th season. And also Rosa Salazar appeared in 4 episodes of the show's first season as the murdered nurse. So a lot of connections. A lot of people have worked together on other stuff. So that's kind of cool. The opening scene with Sandra Bullock and Sarah Paulson shows the two playfully calling each other Dum Dum, and the song that is playing at the moment is Come Down by the Dum Dum Girls.
Oh.
It's kind of a cute little
I
nod there.
didn't catch that.
Yeah, I don't even know who the Dum Dum Girls are.
Nope.
Yeah, no.
We're both dum-dums.
We are not cool. We don't listen to cool music at all.
No.
Well, we think it's cool.
No.
There's a possible nod to The Road. The children's names in the movie are Boy and Girl, and the 2 main characters in The Road are just simply named Man and Boy. So that might be a little nod there.
All right.
So yes. So let's talk about the Bird Box challenges.
The
meme that's popping up all over the place. So so this all fucking started in Australia. So Netflix originally partnered with 4 Twitch streamers in performing what they called the Bird Box Challenge, in which they would play some popular video games while blindfolded. However, the challenge has since turned into a global internet meme, which participants wear blindfolds and try to do day-to-day activities. In response, Netflix has released several messages over social media advising people not to undertake the latter challenge. So just play the games blindfolded. There is a story about, we were talking about it earlier, about people getting in trouble trying the to drive
Yeah.
blindfolded with just their
Stupid.
GPS as they do in the film. You know,
People,
just
come
dumbass
on.
people. Why the hell are you doing this?
Yeah. Kids, damn kids. No, it's probably not even kids. It's probably some adults.
Yeah. So
People our age.
the film immediately sparked a BirdBox challenge meme where people, most often children, it specifies, would have to cross a distance while blindfolded, both indoors and outdoors. And then when the videos started to appear, people started bumping into objects and hurting themselves. Netflix, obviously, that caused them to issue the statement of don't be fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's a movie, goddammit. What is wrong with you? Christ almighty. Fucking kids, man. Damn millennials ruining this country.
There's millennials. It's your fault. You're
So yeah, as we said,
detergent.
people are getting in trouble for doing this. So don't be stupid. It's a dumbass fucking movie.
Yeah.
Don't be dumb and don't blindfold yourself and drive. If you want to blindfold yourself and be stupid and fucking walk across the woods, be by all means. You're not hurting anybody
just
else.
run as hard
Go
as
right
you
ahead.
can in those
Run
woods.
as hard as you can into a tree. If you want to play video games blindfolded, please go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
I don't care.
That's
But
easy.
for the love of God, don't drive. Don't bring other
God.
people's lives into
Yeah,
it.
you're
Please
gonna
don't. You're gonna ruin
kill
someone's
yourself, kill
life
someone
for some
else.
fucking YouTube or Facebook streams. Come on
Yeah.
now. Only we could be that desperate for attention.
Dear God, where's my car? Watch me.
Right? Jesus fucking Christ, man.
Yeah, people are crazy. There's another meme out there, and I do believe this now. Sandra Bullock is not trusted while traveling, because in Speed, she's speeding. In that space movie, she's floating around space, and now she's blindfolded, walking around and going down a river.
She just has
So,
bad luck on her.
Just don't go with Sandra to the grocery store.
Bad shit just happens to this woman.
No, she's the worst. You'll get lost or die.
Oh god, I forgot she was in Gravity. Yeah, that movie was fucking awesome
It
too.
was the funniest meme though. It's like, don't go with her anywhere. She's got bad luck.
She's dangerous,
very
but she wins
dangerous.
beauty pageants apparently. So yeah.
Yeah, she'll make through, but you won't. So she always survives.
God. So there is a potential reference to Rick from The Walking Dead. Apparently, one of the characters' names when they answer the radio is Rick.
Mm-hmm.
That's Rick Grimes is the main character in The Walking Dead comics, and well, probably more popular TV show. Probably what more people have seen. So spoilers. Oh man. So these ones are spoiler ridden, so be prepared.
Wait, is this Oopsie Days?
No, these are not oopsies.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still in the fun facts.
We're still fun facting it up.
Yeah. So on December 21st of 2018, in an interview to Bloody Disgusting, it is mentioned that the producers wanted the creatures to appear at some point, or they even designed a creature and shot a scene with it. However, it made the scene funny, and they decided to discard it. Sandra Bullock described the creature saying it was a green man with a horrific baby face.
Oh god.
So I'm kind of glad they got rid of it.
So kind of like this guy.
Kind of Muckman.
Little Muckman-y.
Yeah.
With a baby face.
Baby face Muckman.
That's so weird. Who designed that creature? Yeah. I'm going to make you fear yourself and kill yourself. I'm a green baby face.
It's a horrific baby face.
Horrific
That's
baby
pretty.
face.
That's even worse.
Oh,
So at first, the title seems to refer to a shoebox where the children keep their birds
Mhm.
as an earlier warning system when the creature's near. However, the title may also refer to the building at the end in the sanctuary with the courtyard. It's just a bigger fucking bird box. It's the same thing. I don't know.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually
It's
had
not really a
bird
fun
box,
fact. That kind of pissed me off,
Yeah.
actually.
They had a real bird box, and then
Yeah.
who's talking about the end? That's where all those people were.
Yeah.
Saving a box.
Well, I
It's a
guess it
building.
is kind of a box. Building is sort of just a box, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
let's not want
if we're
nitpick
thinking about,
here.
if we're thinking about cardboard box or like just a square shape.
It's a box. A building's a box. Let's just we're looking for too much into this. So, I could not find any budget data on the movie. Obviously, there's no data on how much money the film grossed because it's a Netflix film, so
True.
there's no box
So-
office there.
They didn't gross any money.
Zero.
Just-
Big fat goose egg.
Well, we're going to invest millions of dollars, and our streamers are going to see it for free because there's one account and 5,000 million views. We
Jesus
made $20 this month.
I borrowed a Netflix account for a long time before I paid for my own, so I'm guilty of that as well. I think all of us have.
I had my own, and then I just went on my wife's, so I feel I put in my time.
Yeah, you
I
put
gave
in
my
your share.
money.
You sure
Come
did.
on.
They let you have what, like six accounts?
I think so. Yeah, we have
one
like
time.
4 or 5.
That's
or
generous
something.
for sure.
So, and
Yeah.
I remember even back in the day, I think when they had DVDs, right? When you can rent the DVDs and they'll ship it to you.
Right.
Did they do
yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
I did
I've
that
been
too.
around. I've been around for a while.
Yeah, Netflix fucking
So,
pay us, man. We've been
bah.
customers for a minute.
And then they jacked up the price too. Remember? It was,
Yeah, like a year or two
it
ago.
was first like
Yeah.
I don't know, $10 or something. Now it's
Yeah, it used to be $7.99, and the streaming came free with it. And then they offered like the package where like it was $9.99 to get the streaming and the DVDs sent to you, and then they just did like a streaming only package, which was like now it's I don't even know if they do.
I don't know.
Can you get
'Cause I don't
actual
pay.
videos in the mail anymore?
You know what? I think you can. I heard you could.
I don't know.
But that
I have to
was-
check my account to see which version I have because I might be overpaying and I'm not
That was
getting
at
anything.
least a year ago though. But yeah, I don't know the price because I ain't paying.
I'm paying for it. So anyway, Jesus.
10 minutes later.
10 minutes
Fuck
later,
you,
talking
Netflix.
about Netflix accounts.
We love you, Netflix.
We do love you, Netflix.
We do.
So let's talk about some awards.
Bum awards, yeah. There we
That's
go.
me dancing to the music we don't have. Yeah, I love it. Awards. All right. So it won some of the California On Location Awards,
Oh,
otherwise known as COLA.
okay.
COLA.
I like that.
Yeah. It was the winner for the Location Manager of the Year for an independent feature film for Boyd Wilson. Way to go, Boyd.
What, Boyd? Why
It
did-
also won Location Team of the Year for independent feature, which there's a bunch of names I'm not going to get into, but way to go, everybody there.
What does this even mean, though?
I think it's just like the actual industry, like the people who actually behind the scenes make the movie work awards.
Okay.
Not
Well, they
the-
should definitely be credited for
Yeah,
their
okay,
abilities
all right.
and their jobs. Because
Leanne Emmerich,
Yeah.
Boyd Wilson,
All right.
Joe Betancourt, Philip Jordan Brooks, Jun C. Lin, Jacob M. Torres, Vernon Smith, Peter Gluck, Justin Harold, and Ted fucking Kim.
Yeah. Bravo. Bravo
All you
to
guys,
you all.
No one's ever read your names before, but I read your names because we appreciate the work that you do.
HHS.
We do. High Horror
HHS.
Society is
Yeah,
for
no,
the little
seriously.
guy.
I mean,
Fuck the big guy.
there's so many people behind the scenes that make a lot of big production happen that
Oh yeah,
nobody
I mean,
knows about.
everyone's
It's like
everyone
it's
has a
insane.
critical role. They wouldn't be on set if they weren't. I mean,
No.
it's all about cutting costs, and if people are a cost, so I
Mhm.
mean, if they didn't need them, they would fucking be gone. And then it was nominated for Assistant Location Manager of the Year for a feature film for Philip Jordan Brooks. Hey, Phil, better luck next time, brother man.
It's all good.
Nominated but didn't win.
It's all
Let's
good.
take home one. Let's take home a Cola Award next year, bro.
Cola. Coca-Cola.
Soundtrack and score.
Ba 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 ba. Trent Reznor.
That's really about it, right?
And
I do have a couple songs that were in the film that way I can read off if you want.
Sure. Because I didn't do any information. I just saw his name. And I'm like, well, I've done all my research.
Got to see the bumper for soundtrack though. I can't read them without it.
I'm not done yet. I just had to finish my conversation to myself.
There you go. Soundtrack.
Such a soundtrack. 9-Inch Nails. Trent Reznor.
There you go. And he also did Social Network
Yep.
and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Cool.
For which I'm pretty sure he won the award for Social Network. I'm not sure about Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Nice.
A couple songs that were in the movie. Coming Down, we talked about this by the Dum Dum Girls.
Okay.
I Say a Little Prayer by Diane Warwick. And then Piano Sonata 47 in B minor by Franz Joseph Haydn. And then Outside, written by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who has also helped with the music. And it's performed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. So
Cool.
very good.
Bravo. Bravo, Trent.
Oopsies.
Scoopsie.
Oopsies, daisies.
Poopsie daisies.
So I got a couple of these. So funny story about this. So Kyle and I were going to watch this last Monday.
Mhm.
I had to go to urgent care for some bullshit.
It's an
and-
emergency.
Yeah. And we ended up not watching it. But I had all this shit written, right? Because obviously as much as it looks like we just fly by the seat of our pants here, we actually have a show outline that we use and we try to adhere to.
Yeah.
And it works out all right.
It definitely works.
So I had a bunch of these written out, and I went to like just add more, read more today.
All right.
And some of these were missing from the original list that I have. So I have a total of
2,000.
16 things,
Damn.
of which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them were removed from the list that I originally got.
Huh.
Weird, right?
Conspiracy.
Maybe. I'm going to read them anyway, just because I try not to read these beforehand because they are full of spoilers, and I want to go into the movie with knowing as little about it as possible.
Of course.
Because I feel that's the best way to experience it.
Yeah. Go in blind.
Jesus Christ. How many times do you use that fucking joke?
Twice now. I got to do this 5 times.
It feels like it's been forever.
10 out of 10.
But I'm going to read them all, and we'll determine, I guess, if they were right or not.
Right.
So here we go.
Let's do it.
Number 1. When Sandra Bullock's character cycles the action pump on the shotgun, you hear empty shells hitting the floor instead of live rounds, which would make a heavier thud sound.
Okay.
So I do remember that, her going when they were saying, like, you don't even know how to use that thing.
Yeah.
And you hear the shells, but it is that distinct empty shell.
Okay.
Little noise.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If it was an actual shell, you'd
It'd be
hear
very
more of
heavy,
a because
Thud,
it's full of
thud,
shot.
thud.
Right.
Cool.
Under the blanket in the boat just before hitting the rapids, when Mallory warns the kids about the dangers ahead, the girl's blindfold keeps changing places from her forehead to around her neck between shots.
Oh,
I didn't notice that.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah. When Mallory is climbing the bank after the rapids disaster, she grabs the bicycle bell. Moments later, Boy is seen ringing it. I just thought they had 2 bells.
Yeah, see, I got confused a little bit too.
I thought they had 2 bells because I remember when she went in and she grabbed the things off the chair, there was 2 bells. I'm pretty sure there was 2 of them. Pretty fucking sure.
Maybe.
Either way.
She did have, obviously, the one that she got.
Yeah.
And that's the only one I knew of, so.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, that's what it's saying. It shows her grabbing the bell, and then moments later, the boy is ringing it. And I don't know if they showed it again, but I could have sworn there was 2.
Yeah,
now
it
it's got me fucked up.
It was before they even
This is
left.
why I love this stuff, man, because it's like I didn't even think about this.
Yeah, it was. They got the one when that guy was still alive.
Yeah, she got it. She pulled it off the chair. I remember she pulled them off the legs of the chair in the one house she went into before.
Before all that shit went down.
Yeah, before all the shit went down. But I could have sworn there was 2 of them, so I just assumed she gave one to the boy and one to the girl. So either way, it might be an Ipsy. I don't think so. I would call it a whoopsie.
Whoa, whoopsie daisy.
So anyway, number 4, the eyes of the people who become suicidal after seeing the supernatural force become darkened, but the eyes of the woman in the hospital hallway banging her head on the glass are unchanged. I didn't notice that.
I mean, she was pretty far away. You couldn't really. Yeah. You can only notice their eyes when
you're like
close.
Up close, right?
And you could see the colors.
That's true.
So,
but even if that's the case, then they fucked up big time.
Yeah.
After Mallory and Jessica crash the car, Mallory gets out and looks at the blood on her hands. Then she walks to the house. In the next scene, her hands have no blood on them.
Okay.
I didn't notice that. At 36:20 in the movie, the girl is on the right side of the boat and the boy is on the left side. And the next scene they switched. That could just be, they moved around or whatever. Things happen in edits. They cut out parts and stuff like that. There could have been an in-between scene there that they took out. Either way. Number 7, when Gary arrives in the kitchen, his blindfold is on the floor to the right of his hand, just out of his reach, then in front of him, and then it's in front of him. Then he picks it up off the floor from his right without having to reach for it. So that's kind of weird. So when he's on the floor, it's to the right, just out of his reach. Then it's in front of him, and then it's like right here. So
damn, Gary.
Fucking magic blindfold. When they're in the store and someone starts knocking on the door of the loading bay, Douglas leaves a shotgun in his shopping cart, but in the next shot, he has it in his hands.
Oh.
Interesting.
All right.
Let's see. This was one of the ones that was not on the list the second time I went there. At about 55 minutes into the movie, the amount of whiskey in Mallory's glass changes. Also, the color of the drink in her glass and Doug's is different, even though John Malkovich poured the drinks from the same bottle.
I remember that because I was like, damn,
it did look kind of dark, didn't it? Her whiskey looked way darker.
It was. And I was like, damn, that's a shitload of whiskey.
For a pregnant lady.
One time, yeah.
Whoa.
I remember the first, I remember that part.
I wonder why they cut that out. Probably because it showed a pregnant woman drinking.
She did take a sip, though.
She did. In the river,
We got you.
We got you now. Number 10, in the river scenes, we know they're going downstream in the rowboat. However, there are scenes of her obviously going against the current in other views, and the boat is drifting along the current. So, interesting, yeah.
All right.
Number 11, in the beginning of the movie, only some people are able to see the demons while others don't see anything, even though they are looking in the exact same place. That's true. When people are running around, why didn't they stop and see it?
Yeah, so many people just scurrying around.
Yeah. When Mallory gets to the house, however, everyone's not wearing a blindfold is able to see the demons. Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone would see the demons right outside the house there, wouldn't they?
Instantly. Just
Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. I did like that whole beginning with the whole ship falling apart. I just assumed it was going to explain itself, like only certain people can see him at certain times, or
Yeah, we
they can
assumed
maybe
that.
it explains that in the book, like the demons have to show themselves to you, you know. Like,
And then you're like, oh.
and then you see it.
fuck.
I'm sure
Yeah.
that's probably it, and the movie just probably glossed over it somehow.
Yeah.
When Tom is kissing Mallory in the new house, his hands change positions from holding her chin to being around her neck between shots. That's because Tom wanted that pregnant ass, man.
Damn.
He sure
Fucking
did.
Tom.
So
Smooth
it's,
criminal.
the garage door opener continues to operate long after the power has gone out. Also, the turntable works when Gary turns it on, and when battery turntables do exist, but they are rare. So battery powered.
Did the power
turntables.
go out? Did
I
they
don't
like
remember them
announce
saying that. Yeah,
I don't think they ever announced it.
I don't think so
Like,
either.
I remember him saying, "We got to
Maybe
do
this is from a
bef-
different version of the movie, and what we saw is a cut, because I don't remember that either.
Yeah, because I remember the guy's like, "We got to do all this before the electricity goes out."
Yeah.
Day 3. But
Right.
They never. I don't think they announced. Like,
I don't
shit.
think so. If they did, it was probably really, really brief.
Yeah.
Either way, when Douglas shoots Gary with the shotgun, Gary says, "Ouch."
Yep.
And then we hear a sound of Douglas struggling to rack the slide of the shotgun. On unlikely malfunction, mind you. This allows Gary to tackle Douglas. When Gary struggles with Tom, the shotgun functions immediately and is not jammed.
Well, it
that-
fell from the second floor down with them. So
Yeah,
like,
maybe.
a good
Got
knock on
broke.
that stone floor could have unjammed it.
Yeah. That's the end of the ones that weren't on the list the second time I watched it,
Oh.
or I pulled it up. Let's see. When girl is tossed out of the boat in the rapids, the bird box is tied around her. It would be highly unlikely that the birds would survive that long being underwater in that scenario, and it
Right.
is unlikely that a shoebox would remain intact and undamaged, which we said too. We were like,
It's a cardboard box.
that whole sequence with the rapids thing really pissed me off, because, and we'll get into it, but it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And then number 16, when the two gray sedans make a loop in the end of the driveway, their tires squeal, but the driveway's a gravel driveway, so there wouldn't be a tire squeal. So yeah,
On gravel.
those are the oopsies.
I like that.
So
Bravo.
bravo oopsies. So let's get into our critical reviews.
Review. Oh my. Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Hey, critical.
So
We're here. Critical.
I couldn't find like a whole like. There was a lot of mixed stuff, so
Okay.
instead of reading them, because like I found with this movie, it just seems to be that every critic is like trying to pretentiously outdo the other one, like
Alright.
by being a shitty asshole. So I
Makes
don't like
sense.
that. I try to go into the movies blind, like but this movie seems to have struck a chord with people. So it has a 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, that's the critic score, and a 64% audience score.
All right.
IMDb has it at a 6.8 out of 10. And Metacritic has it at a 52. That's out of 25 reviews. So
Okay.
still positive, but not totally positive. It's not like a 10 out of 10.
10
or
out of
anything.
10. Ding, 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 ding.
But yeah, I didn't. I was reading them, and there was, again, with a movie like this, it's hard not to spoil it with reading reviews. And usually I copy
Yeah.
a couple down, but it just seemed like they were kind of shitty, so I just left them out this
Meh.
time. And who cares what the critics think, honestly?
Honestly,
because
who cares?
they're a
Fuck
lot of
the
times,
bigwigs.
yeah.
Fuck
Let's
the
listen to the little
bigwigs.
guys. What you should do is you find a couple of YouTube folks that you like listening to, who you all kind of align with on movies.
Yeah.
You just listen to what they think.
High
You're
Horse
not going
Society.
to agree with them. Yeah, I mean, you're
High
not
Horse
going to
Society.
agree with us every fucking time. You're
No.
probably like, why do these guys watch every movie that's so awesome and great? Because Zach cherry picks them. That's why.
Damn it, Zach!
That's why I picked Bird Box, because we need to do something outside of our comfort
and
zone.
I want to stay on top of what's new and hip
and cool. Yeah, of course.
So we can talk.
Try to stay
we
as
can talk
cool
the
as
talk.
we can.
Yeah, I'm kind of cool. I think you're cool. So
really, thanks. You're cool too.
We gotta talk. We gotta talk about cool things.
We talk about cool things because we're cool people. We do cool stuff.
Oh God, somebody love us. Somebody care about us.
So yeah, let's get into what we thought.
All right.
Because we're our own critics.
Yeah, we don't need you bigwigs unless you want to pay us to do a show for you.
Then we totally will, and we'll
be
happily do
it. We will do anything you say.
So
who goes first?
Go first.
10 out of 10. I can go first.
All right, go for it.
So I'm trying to think of this category of this horror flick.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, that's a good category. Yeah, it's kind of like The Mist. Yeah,
it is very similar.
It's in the category of The Mist. And since The Mist was 10 out of 10 because of the ending, of course, this one I give a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's good. It's like me in high school. Good enough just to pass, but if you got one more F on that test, you were done. So like, yeah, it's right there. It's right about there. I like Sandra. I like Sandra's acting.
She did great. I thought she did a really good job.
Honestly, I think all the actors did very well.
Yeah.
The kids they're kids. They did pretty good.
They're cute.
They survived.
Mm-hmm.
They survived.
They did.
And yeah, everything was good. I don't know. When I heard Trent did the music, I'm like, oh, sweet. There's going to be some awesome sounds going on and this and that. It was very like in back of everything that it wasn't like, oh man, like Trent, you really knocked out of the park.
I agree.
It was very, very subtle. So it didn't really drive a lot of emotion for the movie because the music. But I mean,
was just gonna agree to say that. Yeah.
All the scene changing and like, her blind and like searching and stuff. That definitely like added the anxiety and stuff. But yeah. I mean, 7 out of 10. Now I changed it to 8 out of 10. Oh shit, 9 out of 10. Zach, it's going.
It's going up. The more he thinks about it, the more he likes it. Cut it.
Yeah, thinking about it more, 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Give it up for 7.5.
7.5?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I mean,
the whole get behind that, sure.
Netflix and everybody are ramping it up, and the stupid challenges, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
It was it's a 2-hour movie. It's kind of long, but oh man, it's going back down to 7. No, 7.5. Everything was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. 7.5 is fair. Yeah. I'm going to go a little lower. I'm going to say 6 out of 10.
All right.
So I didn't hate it. It wasn't awful. I was definitely entertained. I'm not going to watch it again, probably ever. It just didn't. I didn't care for it very much.
It's that one. It was like, yeah.
We talked about this a little bit earlier. Just some of the things, my complaints about it up top. One, I guess she was such a terrible bitch to those kids. She was awful to those children.
Yeah.
And I get they tried to set that up, like they were joking in the maternity when they're doing the ultrasound and stuff like that. They were joking around, trying to say like, this woman really isn't ready to have kids, and it's like, well then why'd you fucking have it then?
She's
like,
an isolated artist.
Last time I checked, it takes 2 people to make a child. They both kind of have to agree to it, unless one, maybe forgot to take her birth control or somebody didn't pull out in time.
Yeah.
But either way, like there are ways around it. You can get an abortion. You can take care of it. You don't have if the guy ran out on you, which I'm assuming it happened. They talked about it. And they said, "Oh well, Ryan left," and he's there saying, "Well, he wasn't my roommate," and they're like, "Oh, he kind of was," and so I assumed there was a boyfriend who left, but like, okay. And then obviously shit hit the fan immediately, so there wasn't really time to think about it. But
she seemed pretty far along.
Maybe he left recently.
Could she have all that at that far? Like she was
as far as she was, abortion's out of the question. At least in this country, some countries they honestly do. Some countries let you do it like up to the minute.
Up until that's crazy.
It was weird. It didn't really strike me as realistic. But I mean, I'm sure it happens. There are detachments from stuff like that. But she was such a bitch to the kids, And like I get it where they're coming from. Like she's trying to be like, I'm trying to get them to survive, and
Yeah.
I got a very much of a Sarah Connor from Terminator
Yeah.
teaching John Connor feel to this
I
whole
can see
thing,
that. It's
which
good.
it's fine. But like not even giving the kids fucking names, naming them
That's
girl and boy,
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff like that.
That's just
that
lazy.
was weird. And like,
what the fuck?
yeah, I don't know. And then like. I am glad the Tom called her out on it. He finally
sure.
was like, "You're a
Yeah.
fucking bitch to these kids. They need
Yeah.
a mom. They need hopes and dreams,
They
and
need
not just
names.
constant survival all the time."
Mhm.
And so I liked that part. That was cool. But overall, it just I don't know. A lot of it seemed kind of it was weird. The first half of the movie I thought was really good. The
Yeah.
build up was great. I
Oh,
thought it was
yeah.
going to be really interesting,
Mhm.
and it kind of just died. Like
Yeah.
it reminded me
It
of
was
like
a slow ending. like,
yeah, it reminded me
yeah.
of like a season of The Walking Dead where it was just like we're just finding the next camp. We're just finding the next place to
Yeah.
hold up, which
Just
I get.
moving
Like,
on.
but it was literally that was the show or that was the movie. It was basically a season of The Walking Dead all
Yeah.
smashing
They
in
gotta keep
1
moving
hour
and moving.
or a 2-hour movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was like so they go to the guy's house and that place will eventually they gotta leave. So then they go to the other house and then they're off, grabbing food. Like all these apocalyptic movies, they kind of go through the same like formula.
Yeah.
This one was a little different in that it did the jumping back and forth between like modern like the attack happening and then
Yeah.
like on the river and stuff like that. But then they didn't even get to like I get how the movie did it because it like butted up perfectly. Like, and when she found out about the river part in the past flashbacks, that's
Mhm.
when it took over officially, and like
Yeah.
they were moving forward with it. It just seemed like it was like this whole like river expedition was kind of just brought in like halfway through the film. Like, I get that the whole movie takes place that they're on the river from the very start. But like the whole idea of the expedition probably only really existed in the movie for like what seemed like maybe 2 or 3 movie days before it actually occurred.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like a weird thing to like launch on. I get it. Like that was their plan if shit hit the fan, and that's what they did.
Mhm.
But like once it hit that scene, once that waypoint happened and it was just her and the kids in the boat, the movie lost a little something for me. The best parts about it were the interactions with Sandra Bullock and the other characters and the other,
Yeah.
the asshole guy who reminded her of her father, the crazy guy who came in, the sweet pregnant girl,
Mhm.
the badass cop chick, and then, the military guy who has a thing for pregnant ladies. Like,
Of course.
Those interactions between the people were the strongest parts of the movie, I thought. That's why
Yeah.
the beginning was so good. Like the apocalyptic scene in the beginning where shit was hitting the fan was great. They typically don't show that in a lot of movies. They kind of
No.
gloss over it all.
Yeah. Even I was like, damn, they're starting off pretty strong.
Yeah,
We're like, holy shit.
Another movie that kind of did that right off the bat was the Dawn of the Dead remake. They kind of went ape shit right in the very beginning. It very reminded me of that. Very similar.
Okay.
Same thing with 28 Days Later.
Okay.
28 Weeks Later. It was kind of the same deal. The movie starts off calm, and then all of a sudden, bam, shit hits the fan, and everything you know is just torn away and thrown apart.
Yeah.
And I get that. It was just, I don't know, the first half was so interesting and intriguing, and then the second half was just so boring. And the River Rapids scene was just, I don't know, it was over so quick, and it was just really lame, and the CGI was kind of
Yeah, you
campy
could
or
see
whatever.
those
It
shots,
just
like,
it just looked shoddy compared to the rest of the film, which was
True.
actually really beautifully shot.
Yeah.
It just seemed unnecessary. Like, I don't
mean,
know.
I guess it would be hard to shoot a river scene
With
Sandra
children.
and Sandra
Yeah,
Bullock.
I get it. I get it. So right around it, do something else. And I guess they kind of did. They crashed the boat and whatever. But like the fact that all 3 of them survived that horrible accident, like you and I talked, like being a grown ass man, like
God.
chances of you and I getting out of there.
Oh,
And now,
fuck.
mind you, I'm not like an Olympic swimmer or anything,
Me neither.
but I would have very little chance of surviving that. And so would
Yeah.
any grown ass man,
Anybody.
or,
Yeah.
I would
Especially
just-
without a life jacket.
without a
you're
life
fucked.
jacket.
You're
And then
fucked.
now these kids and her just kind of, one washed up on shore, one grabbed a thing, and she
Mind
swam
you, blindfolded.
blindfolded the whole time too. Yeah, I mean, it just
That's
seemed
like-
unrealistic. And I know it's like, Zach, it's a movie, but it really took me
Fucking
out of it.
movie.
Like, I don't want to sound mean, but had one of the children passed, that may have been like
That's
even
more
more
realistic.
emotionally
yeah,
rocking,
We kinda talked about that,
like
yeah.
I thought a good twist would be that her kid maybe died and the other girl's child lived, and
'Cause she didn't want that.
you know, that would have been an
Mhm.
interesting character development, because the whole movie you kind of got this sense that she kind of favored her son.
Oh
over
yeah,
the
they even had
girl.
that up until that point.
Yeah, with
It's
the boat
like,
scene, because she
okay,
kept kind
now
of
one's
looking at the
looking-
girl, and then
Yeah.
it wasn't until the girl offered to do it, because you could tell that's kind of the way Sandra Bullock's character was thinking. But that's just a mom making a decision. Like,
course, yeah.
she's going to sacrifice the kid who's not hers. Like, to be fair, if that
Naturally.
kid's not hers.
Mhm.
But again, still a bitch move. And then ultimately they decided not to do it,
Yep.
but you know, and it worked out for the best because obviously everyone survived. But that rapid scene, that's kind of where it all fell apart. I was
Yeah.
really intrigued with the movie. I thought it was pretty good. The acting was great. Sandra Bullock did a great job. John Malkovich did a great job. Everybody did their part really well. The interactions between the characters was great. That was the best part.
Oh yeah.
I loved the, you know, in the very beginning they had the quintessential characters, you know, the punk rock guy with the
Yeah,
tattoos who's
of
just
course.
like, man,
Yeah.
fuck it, dude, it's the government, fuck them all, man. And then
the
the
end of the
cop
world,
chick who
bro.
was like, you know, like the guy
Yeah.
was doing drugs right there in front of everybody.
I'm
Like,
still a cop.
and I'm still a cop, asshole. It's like, okay, like, lady, literally the world is falling apart outside,
Yeah.
and you're caring about me
About
popping
this
a couple fucking pills. Get off of it.
Fucking
And of course, they
bitch.
ended up being romantically
Lovers.
involved, and they ran off together.
Yeah, they stole the
You know,
car.
they stole the
damn
car.
millennials.
Yeah, fucking, they stole the car and ran off and left everyone there. That was
Sounds
such
about
a
right.
shitty thing to do.
I'd do that. See ya.
But yeah, that whole ending, the last 20 minutes or so, you know, and you and I kind of called the ending. We were like, what is it, like a blind home or sanctuary or something?
How would
where
these people
we figured
survive?
it out.
It's
yeah.
either crazy people who love the beautifulness,
Yeah,
or some.
I was kind of hoping for that. I was kind of hoping that
Just walk in
it
the
would just
door
be, they would walk in the door and they would be there. Like, how
Oh,
cool would
God.
that be? Like, you
There's just
made
a
it all
bunch
this
of
way.
them. Oh,
We're just
man.
terrible people, I guess. We just
I
like
love those
downer
endings.
endings. I know.
I hate happy endings.
I love downer endings. But and it wasn't just that. Like, I'm glad it was a happy ending. It made sense. I got the whole metaphor of now they're in a bigger bird box. Like, I get it. That's very
Yeah.
clever. But still, it just, I get the character lost her husband or her love interest, and it just, I don't know. The movie just seemed to kind of push us along instead of letting us. I don't know. I just felt kind of shoved along, and it was a long movie.
It was.
And it felt kind of rushed.
2 hours.
I don't know.
Maybe you
I
gotta
wish-
watch it again.
Maybe I got to watch it again. But for right now, 6 out of 10. There was just a lot. There was a lot of good in it, but most of it was pretty weak especially the end.
Weak sauce.
Weak sauce.
I mean,
The
that's
violence was good. I liked the kills.
Oh,
The,
yeah. That was good.
I love the scene where they're driving for the first time and you hear the crunching noises and the guy's like, it's a
Oh.
speed bump, it's a speed bump, and the girl's like, that's definitely not a speed bump. That was great. The part in the grocery store where the guy was coming through the door,
Ooh,
I
that was
thought that was
creepy.
great.
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
lot of good little moments
Oh, yeah.
that they never really explored. Like, I loved the whole idea, the people who were mentally ill, like, who saw this thing, like, tried to get people to convert. Like, it was almost like a cult. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was the direction it was going.
Exactly.
I was like,
yeah.
there's gonna be a community
We're
of these
a
fucking people. Like,
commune,
oh
yeah,
my
come
god,
to
this is
us.
crazy. Like,
yeah.
and maybe they could teach them to see these things or something. I don't know. Like, I wish they explored that a little bit more.
Here's some LSD so you can see some.
Maybe
happy
right.
Stuff.
Maybe it was something
like,
they did in their treatment. Maybe electroshock therapy, but they never really explained that, which I thought was unfortunate. And again, I'm not saying that every part of a movie has to be explained. There's plenty of movies that you and I have watched
a lot
recently
of holes.
that have big blatant plot holes. Like when we watched The Void, like what the fuck was all that going on? Like,
was all a void.
why? Like, but
It was all a void.
it worked in the moment.
Mhm.
And this movie didn't work in the moment. For some reason, it didn't hit me like the others did, and I felt it was lacking. I thought it could have used an explanation, or even kind of something. Like, they never really even explain what the creatures are.
Yeah.
Like, the one guy went on about folklore and stuff like that.
True,
but they never
but
got
that was
into
nowhere.
it. But
Yeah.
it was always,
As always, you see like it seemed like time kind of slowed down and the leaves would start floating.
yeah,
up
I
and
like
things
that.
Were
That was
a little different. Some
Yeah.
shadow comes in, and
that was
that's
kind of
about
a nod to like
That's
Evil
about it.
Dead, Sam Raimi. They kind of did that with the leaves and the thing following, and
Yeah.
they did a little bit of that. I'm fine with that. I don't need to see the monster. That's
Mhm.
totally fine. I'm not like that at all. But
Yeah.
I would have.
But like what we said, like doesn't. I mean, why run if all that matters is if you see it or not?
Yeah.
If you're blindfolded, why run in terror? No,
Yeah,
the trees
why are
are
they-
splitting. And
Right.
like,
Why are they afraid of
just
this thing when it
stand there,
doesn't
like-
do anything to them? If they can't see it, they can technically just be outside all the time. I don't know. Maybe in the
besides
again,
the crazies.
maybe
Unless the crazies
besides the
get you.
crazies, right? But maybe in the book they explain that.
True.
You know, maybe the monsters do end up eating you or whatever. Or I just felt like, yeah. And then in the beginning, you know, we didn't think about it, but why didn't if all those people were seeing the demons, why didn't they all kill themselves? Like all the people running down the street and then looking at the same time would immediately turn around and just start slicing their own throats
Yeah,
because they were.
doing something
know,
to kill themselves. Yeah.
It would maybe the book explains things a little bit differently, but overall, I just felt there was a lot of weak points that they could have explained a little bit more, or maybe even added some more mystery to it. You know,
Something,
like.
yeah.
I don't know. It would have been great to see. I did enjoy the part of the mentally ill guy infiltrating them and tearing down the windows and like
You could tell,
know,
like the birds at the beginning.
the
when he
birds
gets in,
that
like,
were yeah
oh,
exactly.
this guy's not a good guy.
I liked. I thought it was interesting that both women went into labor at the exact same moment. That was kind of interesting. It was like,
True.
wow, lucky midwife there.
Let me see those babies.
Those babies came out perfectly fine too, which was crazy and super fast. It seemed like it was 5 minutes for 2 labor deliveries. That's
Bam.
get that midwife up in the hospital, man, because that woman's a miracle
She's
worker.
good.
Yeah, she's real good. Yeah, overall, like, and I know bragging on the realism of the movie probably isn't the coolest thing because there are far more ridiculous movies that we've enjoyed that aren't realistic at all. But that's
Goonies.
the point of those movies, you know,
I
like
have the Goonies.
the Goonies, yeah. But like those are the points. Like Murder
Yeah.
Party was ridiculous because it was just a ridiculous movie and it knew it. It didn't take itself seriously at all.
Mhm.
Like there are things that happen in those movies that are okay because of the tone of the film. And this tone was very serious for a lot of it. There wasn't even
Oh, yeah.
really much comic relief either, which maybe it could have used. Maybe it was too serious. And then I'm also gonna have to. Man, I seem like I'm really bitching, huh?
I got lots to bitch about today.
And I agree with you. The soundtrack was really weak. Like when
Yeah.
I heard Trent Reznor did the score, I was really excited for it. But it seemed just like old, you know, synth noises and you know, the minor key made it kind of depressing and
Yeah.
scary, and it
There's
just
no like ramped up.
seemed
like,
kind of phoned in.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe I'll listen to the soundtrack on Spotify and see if it, you know, I get those emotions. But like when we watched Mandy, like I've listened to that soundtrack.
I was gonna say,
like,
compared to that,
oh my god, I
Jesus.
listened to that soundtrack like 1,000 times since we watched that movie. And
Yeah.
every time I watch it, I think about the movie, and I watched the movie again over the weekend because
Nice.
I loved it so much. It was awesome. It was
it's a great movie.
And
Great
the soundtrack, yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
again, that movie is ridiculous. It's about demon biker guys who take LSD and kill people. Yeah, but the entire movie was ridiculous like that. It
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
this one part in this serious movie like this was. So I don't know. Judge it for yourself. Don't listen to us. So I'm gonna stop bitching and ragging on it. Overall, did you have a good time watching it?
I had a fabulous time.
I had a good time watching it with you
Yes.
too, and that's all that really
Because we
matters.
Netflixed and chilled.
We Netflixed and chilled
That's what we did.
without sleeping together.
Ah!
yet.
I told you not to say anything.
Oh God. Either way,
Change the subject.
change the subject. Oh God, this is getting into that territory. No, we're both very open-minded
Oh,
people.
man. That's funny.
Just not that open-minded.
We from Hampshire, Illinois. You don't know what we
Oh,
do out
God.
there.
No, not at all. We love the LBGT community and everybody else. We're
everybody.
in
We
no
love it.
room to judge anybody at all. Look at us, for Christ's sakes.
Judge us, please. We need judgment.
So yes, go watch Bird Box on
Do
Netflix, or don't. It could be. Just go
do
check
it.
it out.
Just
The worst
follow
that
the-
happens is
Be
you don't
sheep.
like
Be sheeple. Just go watch it. You'll
it.
have fun.
You just got to know how blah it is. It's not bad. It's nowhere. It's not awful. I'm not gonna say it's a shitty movie. It's enjoyable. I sat through the 2 hours and I liked it. It just wasn't amazing. You know, it was forgettable. I'll probably be like, oh yeah, Bird Box.
What movie?
Yeah,
Oh,
precisely.
okay.
So Bird Box on Netflix.
Bird Box.
6 out of 10 for
6
Zach.
out of 10. 7.5.
7 out of 10 for Kyle.
7.5.
7.5.
7. Gotta
out of
get
10.
that half for a
The half
bolak.
point.
Gotta get that bolak.
So yeah, go check it out, and don't forget to follow us on social medias.
All of them. Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I think we're gonna start doing Twitch. It's gonna be cool.
iTunes.
Hopefully, iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, all the stuff.
All the fun stuff.
Check it out.
Our website.
Eventually is coming together.
Some
When I find a
t-shirts.
cool WordPress template, the t-shirts. Let me grab the shirt. Oh God.
HHS.
Thank you again, Kim.
Thank you, Kim. Awesome t-shirt. It's gonna motivate us to definitely get some made.
Most definitely.
And,
I like
some
it.
people like some. We can hand them out for free or whatever.
Ooh, if you come to one of our events if we ever get around to it.
Yeah, we got so much planned. We just need people to show up.
And we need time to do it all.
Time is just a fabrication
Just
of your
thing,
mind.
man. How can you put a thing on time, man?
No, but seriously, everything runs on time. We
It
have
does.
no time at all. So, yeah, a lot happen faster if you all show up, listen, and view,
And
email.
comment and like and
Love us.
interact.
Yeah.
All right,
It's pretty
everybody.
easy.
Have yourselves a good evening.
Peace.
Peace out.
It's the High Horror Society.